One deal. Zero risk. That's the lie everyone wants to believe. But in Landman Season 2, Episode 9, the trailer makes one thing clear. This is the moment where the truth starts bleeding through the cracks. The kind of truth that doesn't just cost money, but costs people everything. The deal that can't lose? It already has winners and victims. The only question left is who realizes it first, and who realizes it too late. The trailer for Landman, Season 2, Episode 9, doesn't waste time easing us in. From the first line, there's a feeling that something dangerous is already in motion. Not a sudden disaster, but a slow, unstoppable collapse that started long before anyone noticed. This episode isn't about what might go wrong. It's about understanding that things already have. The title, The Deal That Can't Lose, sounds almost comforting at first. But in the world of Landman, a deal that can't lose usually means someone else is guaranteed to lose instead. At the center of this storm is the deal itself, the one Cammy believes will save the company and prove her leadership. On paper, it looks bold, even brave. Rebuilding the Gulf gas rig isn't just a business move, it's a statement. It says that promises matter, that your words still mean something in an industry built on leverage and pressure. Cammy believes that if you start breaking promises, you lose more than money. You lose your identity. And in her mind, that loss is worse than bankruptcy. But the trailer quietly reveals what Cammy refuses to see. This deal was never balanced. It was designed from the beginning so that only one side could truly win. Galino didn't loan money out of faith or optimism. He invested with precision. The royalties alone guarantee him hundreds of millions every year. That means success is optional for him. Failure doesn't hurt him. Collapse doesn't touch him. Even if MTX falls apart piece by piece, Galino still walks away richer than before. That realization hangs over every frame of the trailer, even when it isn't spoken out loud. You can see it in Tommy's face. He looks like a man who has finally understood the trap, but far too late to escape it. Tommy has spent his entire career surviving impossible situations, finding cracks in bad deals, and outthinking people who underestimated him. But this time is different. There is no angle left, no clever move, no last-minute save. The deal is already done, and the rules were written by someone who planned for every outcome. What makes this especially painful is that Tommy tried to stop it. He warned Cammy. He explained the risk. He even tried to scare Galino away, telling him he'd lose everything. And for a brief moment, Tommy believed he still had control. The trailer makes it clear how wrong he was. Galino never needed control. He built a system where control no longer mattered, where chaos itself becomes profitable. This is where the episode's tension truly lives, not in explosions or shouting matches, but in the silence after the realization sets in. The trailer shows Tommy exhausted, quiet, carrying a weight that feels heavier than anything he's faced before. He knows what this means. If the rig fails, the company bleeds. If it succeeds, Galino still wins. There is no version of this story where MTX comes out clean. And yet, Cammy stands firm. The trailer shows her determined, almost defiant. She believes leadership means standing by your word no matter the cost. But Landman has always been a show about the price of belief. Good intentions don't protect you in this world. They make you vulnerable. Cammy isn't wrong for wanting to do the right thing, but the tragedy is that the right thing might be the very reason everything falls apart. This section of the story sets the emotional foundation for the entire episode. It's not about villains and heroes anymore. It's about incompatible truths. Tommy believes survival comes first. Cammy believes integrity does. And Galino? He believes in math, leverage, and patience. He doesn't need to raise his voice or threaten anyone. He already won the moment the deal was signed. By the end of the trailer, one thing is painfully clear. Episode 9 isn't about stopping the disaster. It's about watching the consequences finally arrive. The deal that couldn't lose was never meant to save MTX. It was meant to harvest it. And the people inside the company are only just beginning to understand how little room they have left to move. If the deal is the ticking clock, then Cooper is standing right next to it, hearing every second pass. The trailer makes it clear that Episode 9 is not just another step in Cooper's journey. It's the moment where he either becomes a leader for real or proves that he was promoted too fast, too soon. There is no safety net left for him now. No excuses, no learning curve. This is the test. At the end of episode 8, Cooper was handed control of the Wolf Camp drilling project. On the surface, it looked like a win, a reward for his hard work, his long hours, his willingness to throw himself into an industry that chews people up and spits them out. But the trailer reframes that promotion in a much darker light. This wasn't just an opportunity, it was pressure, responsibility, and risk all wrapped into one decision. Cooper didn't just move up, he stepped into the line of fire. The people he's leading aren't rookies. They're seasoned workers who've been on rigs longer than Cooper has even been in the business. Some of them have likely buried friends because of mistakes made on sites just like this one. Respect in that world isn't given because of a title. It's earned through confidence, competence, and survival. And the trailer hints that Cooper is about to find out how unforgiving that reality can be. There's a noticeable shift in how Cooper is presented. He's no longer the eager guy trying to prove himself quietly. He's tense, focused, alert. The camera lingers on his expressions in the trailer, showing a man who understands that one wrong call could cost lives, not just money. The phrase from the synopsis, "assert his leadership," matters more than it seems. You don't assert leadership when things are going smoothly. You assert it when someone challenges you, when chaos hits, when people look at you and silently ask, "Do you actually know what you're doing?" And that's what makes this moment so heavy. Cooper didn't ask for shortcuts. He didn't coast into this role. But he was pushed forward faster than most people would ever be ready for. Tommy believes in him, but belief alone doesn't keep a rig running safely. The trailer suggests there's resistance coming, maybe subtle, maybe direct, but it's there. Crew members watching him, questioning him, waiting to see if he cracks. What hurts the most about Cooper's arc is that failure here wouldn't just be professional, it would be deeply personal. Cooper has spent the entire season trying to step out of someone else's shadow, trying to prove that he belongs in this world on his own terms. If this goes wrong, it won't just confirm the crew's doubts. It'll confirm his own worst fears, that he was never ready, that he moved too fast, that wanting it badly wasn't enough. The trailer doesn't show us the outcome, and that's intentional. Instead, it shows preparation, tension, and the calm before something unpredictable happens. Cooper giving instructions, Cooper watching the rig, Cooper standing alone for a brief moment, like he's bracing himself. That silence speaks louder than any explosion could. It's the silence before responsibility fully lands. And here's the uncomfortable truth the trailer hints at. Even if Cooper does everything right, that might not be enough. The entire season has been about systems bigger than individuals. Bad deals, corporate pressure, decisions made far above the drill site. Cooper could make the perfect call and still suffer the consequences of choices he didn't make. That's the cruel irony of leadership in Landman. You're judged by outcomes, not intentions. Episode 9 feels like the line where Cooper's story stops being about potential and starts being about consequence. If he succeeds, he earns something real: respect, credibility, a future at MTX. If he fails, it won't be a small stumble. It'll be the kind of failure that sticks, the kind people never forget. And the trailer makes one thing very clear. Whatever happens at that drill site is going to follow Cooper for the rest of the season. This isn't just a test, it's a turning point. And once Cooper steps fully into that role, there's no going back to who he was before. While the professional stakes dominate the rig and the boardroom, Episode 9 of Landman reminds us that the personal stakes are just as dangerous. The trailer makes this abundantly clear with Angela and Anninsley, whose storyline has been simmering beneath the surface but is now about to boil over. This isn't a subplot for filler. This is a pressure point that threatens to fracture the family, and by extension, the very foundation that Tommy has been struggling to hold together. Angela has been defined this season by a quiet tension, a mixture of frustration, determination, and unacknowledged anger. She has been navigating her own identity within a family and business that demands constant sacrifice. For the first time, the trailer shows her in action, decisively moving to rescue Anninsley. And make no mistake, the word rescue isn't accidental. This isn't a gentle intervention. It's urgent, tense, and dangerous. There's something immediate and threatening in an Anninsley situation, and Angela doesn't hesitate. She steps in when no one else can or will, showing a willingness to risk her own stability for someone else's safety. Anninsley, meanwhile, is in a precarious position that the trailer hints at but never fully reveals. The ambiguity is what makes this storyline gripping. She's not just a damsel in distress, she's caught in a web of her own choices and external pressures. Her decisions, her mistakes, have set up a situation where the consequences are unavoidable. The tension between her vulnerability and her resilience is one of the emotional core threads of episode 9. The trailer emphasizes this with quick cuts of panicked movement, phone calls, and fleeting moments of fear, all suggesting that what's happening is bigger than any one family member can control alone. The brilliance of this section of the episode lies in how it mirrors the professional struggles elsewhere. Just as Cooper is learning that leadership is tested under pressure, Angela is discovering that emotional courage is tested in real time. It's not enough to care or to have good intentions. Actions must be decisive, and the results are immediate. In Landman, timing is everything. Hesitate, and someone gets hurt. Move too late, and the consequences can't be undone. The trailer builds a sense of urgency, showing that the family drama has real stakes, not just emotional fluff. Failure here won't be limited to personal disappointment. It could ripple into the business world, affecting decisions, alliances, and the balance of power in MTX. The trailer also hints at a tension between Angela and Tommy. He's the one usually at the center of the storm, but this time, Angela steps forward in a role Tommy cannot fill. It challenges the traditional family hierarchy, suggesting that leadership and protection aren't just reserved for the company president or the patriarch. Angela's choices will likely redefine her position within both the family and the company, setting up questions about authority, trust, and loyalty. It's a subtle but powerful narrative pivot. The trailer emphasizes this with shots of her moving alone, determined, focused, while Tommy is shown watching from a distance, weighed down by the consequences he cannot control. The emotional weight of this storyline is amplified because of the history built over the season. The tension between Angela and Anninsley has been messy, complicated, and sometimes frustrating for viewers. But episode 9 appears to promise resolution, or at least a turning point. The trailer makes it clear that this is about more than temporary drama. It's about the cost of decisions and the emotional debt each character carries. It's a reminder that Landman isn't just about oil rigs, corporate deals, or boardroom maneuvering. It's about the human cost of ambition, risk, and loyalty. Ultimately, Angela's rescue of Anninsley is symbolic as well as practical. It's about stepping up when the world seems out of control, taking responsibility for outcomes that others ignore, and showing courage under pressure. This moment is critical not only for their relationship, but for the season's larger thematic narrative. Survival requires action, both professionally and personally. Episode 9 promises to merge these worlds seamlessly, showing that the cost of failure isn't confined to the rig or the office. It follows you home into the lives you thought you could protect. This section closes with a clear emotional hook. The audience is left asking whether Angela will succeed and what that success, or failure, will cost her, Tommy, and the family as a whole. The stakes are high, and the trailer leaves no room for easy answers. While Cooper battles for respect on the rig and Angela races to save Anninsley, Tommy is the eye of a storm that only grows more violent with every passing moment. The trailer for episode 9 makes it clear that his role is less about action and more about consequence. He's no longer the man pulling strings from a safe distance. He's surrounded, pressured, and forced to confront the results of choices he can no longer control. This episode is where the weight of leadership becomes undeniably personal. The trailer opens a window into Tommy's mindset, exhaustion etched into every line of his face, a quiet panic beneath the calm exterior, and moments of hesitation that reveal the limits of his control. He has spent this season trying to manage personalities, navigate deals, and hold the company together while keeping his family intact. But episode 9 paints a picture of a man realizing that sometimes your best intentions are powerless against a system rigged by forces beyond you. Galino, Cammy, and even Cooper in his new role all act according to their own principles, leaving Tommy to react, adapt, and survive without a clear path forward. Central to this tension is Cammy's decision to move forward with rebuilding the Gulf gas rig. Tommy has warned her, argued with her, even attempted to stop the plan, but the trailer shows Cammy unwavering. The juxtaposition is stark. Tommy, the experienced operator, recognizes the stakes and potential fallout. Cammy, confident and idealistic, sees integrity and leadership as worth the risk. It's a collision of philosophies that underscores one of Landman's most persistent themes. Survival and morality rarely align. Tommy understands that even if the rig succeeds, Galino's deal ensures that the outcome favors him, not MTX. Every step Tommy takes to prevent disaster is met with resistance, and the trailer emphasizes his frustration with glances, long pauses, and isolated moments where he is visibly carrying the burden alone. The tension is amplified by how much is outside of Tommy's control. Cooper may falter on the rig, Angela may risk everything in her rescue, and Galino's position ensures he is untouchable no matter the result. Tommy is trapped in the intersection of these storylines, forced to reconcile his role as both a father and a company leader. The trailer suggests this episode will explore the limits of influence. Leadership isn't about knowing the right move, it's about knowing that even the right move may not prevent disaster. That internal conflict drives Tommy's arc in episode 9, giving the story a relentless psychological tension that complements the external crises on the rig and in the family. Moreover, Tommy's struggle underscores the show's central motif. Choices have costs, and those costs compound. The trailer teases moments where Tommy watches, powerless, as events unfold. There is no director's cut in real life. Decisions cannot be paused or edited. This is a man who has built his career on calculated risk, and yet here he encounters a situation where preparation may not matter. It's a cruel irony, and one the trailer captures with every shot of him surveying the chaos, making phone calls, and standing at the edges of scenes where he is responsible but unable to act fully. The emotional resonance of Tommy's storyline also links directly to Angela and Anninsley. The trailer suggests he may be sidelined, forced to watch others take risks he knows could backfire. His love for his family collides with his understanding of the stakes, creating a tension that will resonate deeply with viewers. Every choice made by Cooper, Angela, and Cammy affects him, even when he isn't the one making the moves. In this way, episode 9 doesn't just test Tommy professionally, it tests him morally and emotionally, emphasizing that leadership is as much about endurance as it is about skill. Finally, the trailer hints at the inevitability of consequences. There are fleeting images of sirens, tense gazes, and rapid movement that indicate Tommy's worst fears are on the verge of becoming reality. Episode 9 promises to force him into situations where compromise is impossible, and every decision carries significant weight. The suspense comes not from if something will go wrong, but from how Tommy will navigate the unraveling threads of his life and work. The audience is left gripping the edge of their seats, knowing that Tommy is not just reacting to chaos, he is confronting the price of every choice made throughout the season. In this way, Tommy becomes the lens through which all crises are magnified, making his arc in episode 9 both the emotional anchor and the strategic fulcrum of the story. The trailer positions him as a man caught between intention and outcome, morality and survival, family and company, leaving viewers desperate to see whether he can hold it all together or whether the storm finally overwhelms him. Episode 9 of Landman doesn't just set the stage for tension, it throws every storyline into collision, creating a perfect storm where professional ambition, personal loyalty, and brutal reality meet with explosive results. The trailer makes it abundantly clear that this isn't a slow burn episode. Plans, tears, and sirens aren't just symbolic. They are literal, immediate, and unavoidable. Every action has a reaction, and in this world, the consequences never wait for you to catch up. The first collision is at the drill site, where Cooper's leadership is put to the ultimate test. The trailer shows flashes of him directing crew members, checking equipment, and making split-second decisions. There's urgency in every frame, and it's clear that mistakes are no longer theoretical. They are tangible, life-altering, and potentially fatal. Cooper's arc, which has been about learning on the fly, crystallizes here. Success means proving he's more than a name on a promotion letter. Failure means the consequences are immediate, visible, and inescapable. The tension is heightened because this isn't an isolated problem. The rig is under pressure from multiple fronts: operational risk, time constraints, and the looming consequences of Cammy's high-stakes decision. Every call Cooper makes, every order he gives, can trigger a chain reaction that extends far beyond the site itself.